This is the Marklin Gauge 1 Congressional Limited coach car. It's one of the few Marklin trains that was produced specially for the American market, meaning that it wasn't just a German or domestic version car that was repainted for the American color scheme, such as some of the PRR cars or the other special painted cars. So this we can see here, stamped in gold and wonderfully outlined by hand, says Congressional Limited. And there's also an end observation car that has a small platform at one end, and there's also a baggage car, and this would be kind of the sitting car that would go at the middle of the train. So there are 3 different cars to this set, and the set might have 3 or 4 different cars and sit behind a large steam train with a cow catcher in the front and a bell on it. You can see that it has this wonderful fading along the top of the roof as it goes from a light color to kind of a sky blue color, and that's all hand painted and common on a lot of cars and shows the wonderful detail. This small little portal here is for what would be the bathroom, and we can see on the inside that there's a small door, and there's seating, and we have little figures. And so we'll just do a tour around the car. Wonderful hand painted windows on the end, and we have an earlier style loop coupler. It's definitely not the earliest one, but it's fairly early. This car, I believe, dates from maybe 1905 to 1910 roughly. Congressional Limited, both sides are the same, stamped metal and then hand painted with gold paint, some red highlights. And so we can hinge the roof off and take a look at the inside. And we'll see the wonderful seated figures in there. There's the door to the bathroom that we mentioned earlier. Let's take a closer look at one of the figures. So here's one of the figures, and these would have been cast out of a kind of almost a ground stone material. They're not paper mache, as some people had presumed. They're actually kind of more of a hard ground stone material, almost like a plaster. And so they were cast in a 2-part mold. You can see the seam along the side, and then each hand painted. The mouth, the eyes, sometimes the eyebrows are all painted by hand. And then they are lacquered, and they have a small hole on the underside so that they can fit inside the coach, just like that. And so that concludes our review of this wonderful train, Gauge 1 Congressional Limited. One extra detail is this also was available in O gauge, and sometimes, as is common, the O gauge can be more rare than the 1 gauge version. They were earlier and probably produced in smaller numbers. But thanks for watching.